Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the promotion and management of the Winfield Newcastle Motordrome, on behalf of Tui's and Speedway Castle Roll, welcome to the Motordrome for this Easter Saturday night. Happy Easter to you all. Hope you had a great day, because we're set for an absolutely fantastic night of Speedway. We have the final of the Tui's Super Sedan Grand Prix. I'm Ross Allen from the 2HD Sporting Service, and I hope you have had a great day, because we're set for a fantastic night tonight. The cars that are leading out in the Grand Parade are the cars that have qualified in the third division of our Tui's Super Sedan Grand Prix last night, and they performed particularly well. Stu Robertson and Alan Butcher are two of the hot shots in this group. Welcome along to everybody. Kime and Stu Robertson. Stu Robertson in the Terrace Concrete Corvette. The current Canberra champion, Lenny Edwards and Paddy Ward from Dubbo. Alan Butcher, who has won this Grand Prix on a number of occasions. A little bit of an unhappy night last night. He's back for action tonight. Michael Hickey and Brad Wagner. We're going to run event number 3 first up tonight, the Division 3 qualifying final. The top 4 drivers will go into the final from this division. So the top 4 point scorers go into the final from this division. So they'll be trying very hard here. Stu Robertson would probably be one of the leading point scorers in this group. It's the Tui's Super Sedan Grand Prix Division 3, and they're on their way. Darryl Kime on the outside has grabbed the lead in car number 20. Bernie Whalen in the 22 is holding down second spot. Oh, there's Paddy Ward and Lenny Edwards getting a bump. Oh, Lenny Edwards getting crossed up right in front of Michael Hickey, who straightened him up. And the caution flag going out. No, he's going to get a black flag. Car number 23, Paddy Ward, the driver who has been deemed to have caused the stoppage, gets the black flag. 23, Paddy Ward, will go out of the race. Just explaining to those people who may be new to the Motordrome tonight, the reason for a disqualification of a driver under these circumstances, if the chief steward decides that a driver was the cause for the race being stopped, then that driver is black flagged from this race. He's not black flagged for the night, but is disqualified from this event. So Paddy Ward can't score any points here. An unhappy start for him. Car 23, Paddy Ward, black flag. Bernie Whalen got the better of the start this time, and on the inside Bernie Whalen has the lead, but Darryl Kime going to attack him on the outside. Kime goes up to grab the lead, and Darryl Kime grabs the lead from Bernie Whalen, whose car sounds horrible. I'd say that's going to throw a rod right through the block in just a moment. Stu Robertson coming up on the inside of Bernie Whalen, then Alan Butcher running in 4th place. Next is Lenny Edwards, and then Brad Wagner. Darryl Kime still leads. Stu Robertson coming up on the inside of Bernie Whalen, whose car seems to be sounding a bit better now. Maybe one of the plug leads is just a miss, I don't know, but he seems to be kicking on all right now, because Stu Robertson, in fact, is having trouble getting past him. Alan Butcher starting to join in that freight train as they come out of turn 4. The leader is Darryl Kime. Stu Robertson had a shot at getting up on the inside of Bernie Whalen on that lap. He couldn't quite do it. Alan Butcher tries to come at Stu Robertson on the outside. Robertson inside, Butcher on the outside. They're dicing it out. Coming down Main Straight with 6 laps to go. Darryl Kime the leader. Bernie Whalen second. Stu Robertson third. Alan Butcher moves up on the outside. Stu Robertson tries to get up on the inside of Whalen. Lost a little bit of ground. Butcher came at him on the outside, trying to use that slower car to snooker Robertson, and did it well too. And Butcher goes up into a clear 3rd place and looks to try and dive up on the inside of Whalen as they go into turn 1. Darryl Kime still leads from Bernie Whalen, Alan Butcher, then Stu Robertson, followed by Lenny Edwards and Brad Wagner pulling out of the race. Darryl Kime up very high on the fence. Alan Butcher coming through on the inside of Whalen. He's grabbed second spot this time. Whalen goes back to third. Stu Robertson running fourth, moving up on the inside of Whalen, but could not quite get there. Down Main Straight, Darryl Kime looking to add some points to his tally. Alan Butcher will certainly add some to him, and we're only looking for the top 4 drivers from this group to go through into the final tonight. The other drivers in Division 1 and Division 2 have already qualified. 2 laps to go for Darryl Kime. Alan Butcher closing ranks on him now, getting a lot closer. Then Bernie Whalen, whose car is very sick, and Stu Robertson still can't get by him. Down Main Straight, Butcher having a shot at Kime, gets the split with a lap to go, and the Queenslander grabs the lead. Gives the thumbs up sign. Alan Butcher back to the Motordrome and back into the winner's circle. He's going to grab the 5 points here. Queensland, Alan Butcher is first. 20, Darryl Kime is second. Third place goes to the 4 of Stu Robertson. Fourth is Bernie Whalen. Fifth place will go to the 40 of Len Edwards, and then the 30 of Brad Wagner, who did take the checkered flag. Now, Event 4, 5th heat of the Tui's Super Sedan Grand Prix qualifying series round 4, and the points will go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and these are the people who qualified in grid positions 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 15 from the time trials. 81, John Leslight only has 3 points at the moment in the series. 5, Newcastle 5, that's Peter Garrett. ACT 5, Gary Burke has 11 points. Robert Burke, I think it is. Robert Burke has 11 points. 83, Max Bajent has 17 points. ACT 3, Nick Girdleston has 21 points. Car 10, Grenville Anderson has 26 points. And car 18, Don McEwen has 29 points, the series leader at the moment. Peter Garrett on pole, also had an unhappy night last night. Maybe luck will go his way tonight. John Leslight jumped to the lead on the outside as the green flag sent them into turn 1, 2, and Peter Garrett in second place. Max Bajent is running third, Grenville Anderson up to fourth, Robert Burke is fifth, Nick Girdleston sixth, and Don McEwen at the tail of the field. Leslight out in front. He'll run a catch me if you can race now. Peter Garrett will have to work hard in second place and is doing so. He's staying right in touch with Leslight. Then there's a break to Max Bajent, followed by Grenville Anderson in fourth place. Robert Burke running fifth. Sixth is Nick Girdleston, and seventh is Don McEwen. Still John Leslight has the lead. Here's Grenville Anderson making a move up on the outside of Max Bajent as they go into turn 3, 4. And Anderson, the former national champ, gets around Bajent, goes up into third place to set out after the 2 leaders. That's John Leslight and Peter Garrett. Whilst back in the pack, Don McEwen is in fact on the tail of the grid at the moment. He's running in 7th place and not making up much ground at all. There's Peter Garrett pulling a nice inside pass on John Leslight. Garrett goes to the lead. Leslight is second. Grenville Anderson starting to join in third place. Then there's a gap to Max Bajent, a long gap back to Nick Girdleston, who's got through on the inside of Robert Burke, and Don McEwen's following him through. Garrett the leader. Leslight now under attack from Grenville Anderson. The 2 Lismore drivers fighting out second and third place, with Anderson trying to get up to the tail of John Leslight to put a bit of pressure on him. Leslight got a bit of understeer there, went out to the wall and lost second place. Grenville Anderson shot through to set out after the leader, Peter Garrett. Down back straight away, Peter Garrett out in front. Grenville Anderson closing ranks very quickly in the Camaro. He's going to race hard tonight. Peter Garrett the leader. Grenville Anderson running second. And he's really at work on Garrett now. Garrett's going to have to work hard here because Anderson is gunning for him. Garrett the leader, followed by Grenville Anderson. Coming up on the inside, he's going to grab Garrett here. Garrett on the outside, Grenville Anderson on the inside. They've got about 11.5 to go. Peter Garrett determined to hang on to the lead to break this dreadful spell of luck that he's been having. Grenville Anderson determined to put Peter Garrett back into second place, tried to get the shot at him on the outside. He's really running hard, Grenville Anderson, but Peter Garrett's holding him out at the moment. Garrett drifting up a little bit high. Anderson trying to come through on the inside. Now he has a crack at him on the outside. Garrett the leader. Anderson right on his bumper bar across the line. Garrett's first. Garrett first, Grenville Anderson second. John Leslight was third. Then came Nick Girdleston just in front of Max Bayesian. Don McEwen was sixth, and it was Robert Burke in seventh place. Terrific race. That's sensational Super Sedan racing. And Peter Garrett, he really deserves a round of applause because he's had a horror run of luck in recent weeks. So as he comes around doing his lap of honour, would you please welcome him into the winner's circle in the number 5 car, Newcastle's Peter Garrett. And now the last heat. All these drivers are actually in the final, but they're working for grid positions now. Newcastle 3, Ron Pine. Newcastle 8, Barry Lee. Canberra 17, Gary Curran. Newcastle 2 and the current New South Wales champion, Bob Brewer. New Zealand 6, Kevin Moore. Newcastle 11, Darryl Farrelly. New Zealand 66, Graham Coulson. And Newcastle 9, John Pine. Anderson has finished his point scoring on 31. Don McEwen has finished his point scoring on 30. So John Pine would need to win this as they get the green flag, and Ron Pine jumps into the lead. Kevin Moore from New Zealand second, and look at the other New Zealander, Graham Coulson, being chased along by John Pine up into 4th and 5th place respectively, behind Gary Curran, who's running in 3rd spot. Ron Pine leads from Kevin Moore, the New Zealander, in 2nd place. Gary Curran is in 3rd spot. John Pine is in 4th place. He got past the New Zealander Graham Coulson and is setting out after the race lead, but gee, Ron Pine's got in, and with 8 laps to go, he'll be hard to catch. Kevin Moore running 2nd. Gary Curran is 3rd. John Pine is holding on the 4th spot. Graham Coulson is 5th, then Barry Lee, followed by Bob Brewer 2nd last, and last of all Darryl Farrelly. It's all Ron Pine at the moment, but look at this battle for the minor placings. John Pine going up on the outside of Gary Curran. He got him up into 3rd place he goes. He's looking to come through on the inside of the New Zealander Kevin Moore as they come into main straightaway. Moore holding 2nd place. John Pine running 3rd. Gary Curran is in 4th spot, but let's keep an eye on John Pine as he tries to get past Kevin Moore and set out after the race lead. Moore drifted up a little. Now he comes back down to hold a good tight race line. John Pine just can't quite come through there at the moment. The Falcon's got just a little too much. John Pine holding 3rd place. Gary Curran is running 4th. Graham Coulson is 5th. Bob Brewer is 6th. Barry Lee is 7th, and Darryl Farrelly is in 8th place. Now John Pine gets up side by side with Kevin Moore, the New Zealander on the outside. John Pine still trying to come through on the inside, but the New Zealander is driving well at the moment. He's not driving quickly, but the other drivers are not going well enough to be able to get by him. Ron Pine is scooting away. Kevin Moore in 2nd place. John Pine running 3rd. Then comes Gary Curran, followed by Bob Brewer joining in. then the New Zealander Graham Coulson. It's a terrific race between the cars behind Ron Pine, who has only 2 laps to go. Kevin Moore doing a terrific job in second place. He's holding John Pine out. Gary Curran is running fourth. Bob Brewer is fifth. Graham Coulson sixth. Barry Lee seventh, and Darryl Farrelly is eighth. On to the last lap goes the leader, Ron Pine. A big break back to Kevin Moore, and still John Pine can't get past the New Zealander. Gary Curran running fourth. Bob Brewer is right behind in fifth spot. Here's John Pine having a crack at Kevin Moore. There's Ron Pine taking the checkered flag, a good win. John Pine getting up on the inside of Kevin Moore. He got him right on the last lap. John Pine into second. Kevin Moore finished third. Then came Gary Curran, followed by Bob Brewer. Next through was Graham Coulson, followed by Barry Lee and Darryl Farrelly. 2 minutes 43.069 is 5 seconds faster than Peter Garrett's time. Robertson and Butcher, Ward and Kime, Pine and Anderson, McEwen and Farrelly, Girdleston and Coulson from New Zealand, Brewer and Bayesian, Curran from Canberra, Burke from Canberra, Pine, Leslight from Lismore, Garrett, Kevin Moore from New Zealand, Lee and Whalen from Newcastle. It's a terrific field. It's a Charlestown Toyota New FM Pace vehicle has left the track. We're set for the 40 laps of the Tooheys Super Sedan Grand Prix of 1992. Who can win? We'll find out. As they come into the start zone and on their way. Alan Butcher bounced straight into the lead. John Pine shot up on the inside to go up into fourth place. Grenville Anderson trying to go through with him too. He's up into fourth spot at the moment. The race leader is Alan Butcher. At the end of the first lap, Stu Robertson is running second. John Pine is third. Grenville Anderson fourth. Don McEwen is in fifth place. Darryl Kime running sixth. Paddy Ward is seventh. Eighth place to the New Zealander Graham Coulson. Ninth to Canberra's Nick Girdleston, and in 10th place is Bob Brewer. 2 laps have been completed. Alan Butcher going out very wide on the track in turn 1-2. He got a bit of understeer there. The car's not handling quite like the way he wanted to. So with 3 laps down, Alan Butcher is the race leader. Stu Robinson running second. John Pine is third. Then comes Nick Girdleston in 4th place. Don McEwen running 5th. There's John Pine getting up on the inside of Stu Robertson. John Pine goes up into 2nd place. Robertson's back to 3rd. Now Grenville Anderson trying to come through on the inside of Robertson as they go into turn 1-2. Anderson looking for Robertson. Robertson up just a little bit high. Anderson trying to drive up on the inside, but Robertson kicked back strongly going into turn 3. He's hanging on to 3rd place. Grenville Anderson in 4th place, and Don McEwen is hooked up in 5th place. Alan Butcher the leader from John Pine, Stu Robertson, Grenville Anderson, Don McEwen. Those 5 cars have broken away from the pack. Darryl Kime running 6th, Paddy Ward 7th. The New Zealander Graham Coulson is 8th. Bob Brewer is up, Ron Pine is up to 9th, and Nick Girdleston is running 10th. Here's our race leader coming down main straight away. He has completed 7 laps, and Alan Butcher is the leader, followed by John Pine. Pine getting up a little closer to him. Then comes Nick Girdleston, followed by Stu Robertson in 4th place, and Don McEwen still holding on to 5th. John Pine is now starting to have a shot at Alan Butcher. Slower traffic just ahead of them at the moment. They've picked up this slower traffic pretty quickly, and so it'll now be a problem for the race leaders to work their way through the traffic. Who can get the break? Alan Butcher is the leader, followed by John Pine. Then comes Nick Girdleston. Stu Robertson is 4th, Don McEwen is 5th, Ron Pine is 6th, Graham Coulson is 7th, Nick Girdleston is 8th, Darryl Kime is 9th, and John Leslight now moves up into the top 10 in 10th place. 10 laps are down. Alan Butcher still leads as they go into turn 3-4. But John Pine is right behind him as they get into the slower traffic. Butcher up on the inside. Here's John Pine coming up on the inside of Brewer. Got past the slower car, Barry Lee, but Pine can't quite get through there. He's trying to work away at Butcher. Butcher still hanging on to the lead. John Pine desperately trying to come up on the inside of him. Hasn't quite got the room at the moment. Butcher drifted out a little wide there. Grenville Anderson came up on the inside of John Pine. John Pine came back at him, however, and these three cars racing it out very strongly in very tough conditions, right in the middle of traffic, but they're driving superbly. Alan Butcher, John Pine up on the outside. John Pine's got him on the outside. Pine goes to the lead. Butcher goes back to second place. Anderson is running third. Don McEwen is fourth. Stu Robertson's dropped back in fifth place. 26 laps to go. And John Pine has the lead. Took him about 13 laps to get that lead. And now he is up to the slower traffic and a big pack of them. John Pine, Alan Butcher in second place. Grenville Anderson around the outside of Butcher. Anderson goes up into second place. Butcher kicks back at him on the inside. Anderson is second. Butcher is third. Don McEwen running fourth and Stu Robertson starting to move in again, followed by Ron Pine. Then comes the New Zealander Graham Colson, Nick Girdleston and John Leslie. John Pine working his way through traffic superbly at the moment. He's trying to put as many cars between he and the second place holder, Grenville Anderson, as he can. Grenville Anderson's aware of that. There's a spin in the middle of turn 1-2. Kevin Moore is the car in trouble. And so Grenville Anderson will now come up to John Pine. That's not the break that John Pine wanted. He was desperately working to try and put slow cars between he and Grenville Anderson. But now Grenville Anderson heaves a sigh of relief because that'll put him right beside John Pine at the restart. Now, we have pointed out to you that we have a new rule at the Motordrome about stopping the race and going to the infield. This being a blue ribbon event, each driver in the blue ribbon race, the big grand final, is given one chance and one chance only. He will have to go to the rear of the field, Kevin Moore, but should he spin one more time, he'll be out of the race. Getting set for a restart. Away they go. John Pine got away well. Grenville Anderson's going to try and take him on the outside. Pine on the inside. Now Anderson slips back to the inside to try and nail Pine. Pine the leader from Grenville Anderson, followed by Don McEwen. Then Alan Butcher in fourth place. But it's John Pine who leads with 23 laps to go. Grenville Anderson in second place. Newcastle's Don McEwen running third. Queensland's Alan Butcher in fourth place. Ron Pine from Newcastle is fifth. Stu Robertson from Newcastle is sixth. And then in seventh place we have the New Zealander Graham Colson. Eighth is Canberra's Nick Girdleston. Ninth is Newcastle's Peter Garrett. And 10th is Lismore's John Leslie. That's the top 10. As they come down with 21 laps to go, John Pine still leads, but Grenville Anderson is right behind him. Now Don McEwen starting to handle the track very well as it dries out. And here's Camaro handling beautifully, trying to come up on the inside of Grenville Anderson. Had an opportunity there too, but Anderson's got plenty of power. John Pine, Grenville Anderson, Don McEwen. Oh, John Pine hiking the front wheel of the Commodore as he goes out of turn 2. He's really got some drive at the moment. Anderson in second place. Third, oh, Pine's gone. Back into the action, red lights on. And that's the Chief Steward's going to have a close look at that, just to see whether John Pine was actually gone or whether Grenville Anderson helped him go round. So the video is being studied at the moment. Remember, drivers are given one warning, so whoever is deemed to have caused the stoppage will go to the rear of the field. And the decision is Lismore's Grenville Anderson to the rear of the field. So that's certainly not going to make Grenville Anderson happy. I can guess you can judge what his reaction's going to be. O to be the track marshal to tell him that he's got to go rear of the field. Well, Grenville Anderson is not going to argue. He's going to go straight back to the rear. We've got Alan Butcher and Ron Pine on the second row. Stu Robertson and the New Zealander Graham Coulson on the third row. There's the restart. Don McEwen elected not to take John Pine on. There's John Pine going for a spin right in front of the pack, and the pack behind has taken evasive action. So, another discussion as to whether John Pine's gone on his own or whether he copped some help this time from Don McEwen. Okay, the information from the Chief Steward is that the evidence on the video is inconclusive, so the cars will stay as they were. So cars getting set for the restart, 20 laps to go. Don McEwen attacks John Pine on the outside. Ron Pine's also going to have a go at him, and John Pine has gone from first back to third. Don McEwen is the race leader, followed by Ron Pine. Then comes John Pine. Next is Alan Butcher. He's still hanging on in fourth place. Stu Robertson's running fifth. Nick Girdleston is sixth. Peter Garrett in seventh place. Max Bayesian is eighth. The New Zealander Graham Coulson's dropped back to ninth, and Dubbo's Paddy Ward is in 10th spot. Don McEwen the leader. Ron Pine with his car half falling apart in the front end, climbing all over the back end of Don McEwen in second place. John Pine running third, and he's got some work to do now. They attacked him at that restart, and he dropped from first back to third. Alan Butcher is in fourth place. Stu Robertson running fifth, and Canberra's Nick Girdleston is in sixth place. Where's Grenville Anderson? He has retired from the race. He's gone onto the infield. Don McEwen starting to move away as John Pine works his way back into second spot. Ron Pine back to third. Alan Butcher's starting to chime in now. He's starting to serve it up to Ron Pine. But Don McEwen's going to be hard to catch from there. This car's handling superbly now the track has reached the hard condition it is. These are the conditions that Don McEwen loves to drive in. This track suits him superbly, and he's starting to actually move away from them. He's opening up a break of about 60 or 70 metres on John Pine. Ron Pine holding on to third under plenty of pressure from Alan Butcher, who's fourth. Stu Robertson running fifth. Nick Girdleston is sixth. Peter Garrett is seventh. Max Bayesian eighth. New Zealand's Graham Coulson is ninth. And Dubbo's Paddy Ward is in 10th place. Don McEwen on the Devil's number, 13 laps away from home. 13 laps to the big payout. John Pine in second place. Ron Pine attacking him again up on the inside. But John Pine just manages to hang on to second spot. Ron Pine running third. Alan Butcher is in fourth place. Then Stu Robertson, followed by Nick Girdleston and Peter Garrett. Don McEwen catching up to the slower traffic as we've got cars in trouble. Graham Coulson getting back on the track. The leader is Don McEwen. John Pine is in second place. Ron Pine is running third. Stu Robertson fourth. Fifth place to Alan Butcher. Robertson's worked his way around him. Sixth place goes to Nick Girdleston. Seventh is Peter Garrett. Eighth is Max Bayesian. Ninth is Dubbo's Paddy Ward, and now Darryl Kime moves his way up into 10th place. That's the top 10. As the leader, Don McEwen has 9 laps to go and is picking up the slower traffic. He'll try and get as much of this slower traffic between he and John Pine as he can, and then he'll hope that the race continues without a stoppage. There's Darryl Kime going up onto the infield. Went by himself, did a complete 360, but that's bad luck for Kime because he was in 10th place at the time. Don McEwen running first, going down past pit gate. John Pine is second. Ron Pine is third. Fourth is Stu Robertson. Fifth is Alan Butcher. Sixth is Nick Girdleston. Seventh, Peter Garrett. Eighth, Max Bayesian. Ninth is Paddy Ward. And 10th is Kevin Moore. Race leader Don McEwen coming down Main Straight. has just 6 laps to go in the Tooheys Super Sedan Grand Prix. Going through on the inside of the slower car, Paddy Ward, who's in about 10th place. John Pine running second. Ron Pine is third. Stu Robertson is fourth. Alan Butcher is fifth. Nick Girdleston sixth. Seventh is Peter Garrett. Eighth is Max Bayesian. Ninth is Paddy Ward. And 10th is the New Zealander Kevin Moore. Still Don McEwen in the lead. Has only 4 laps to go. 4 laps away from victory. Second place, John Pine. Third place, Ron Pine. Then Stu Robertson in 4th place. Alan Butcher 5th, Nick Girdleston 6th, Peter Garrett 7th and Max Bayesian 8th. Paddy Ward is 9th and Kevin Moore, the New Zealander, in 10th place. John Pine and Ron Pine working their way through traffic. As the race leader, Don McEwen, has only 2 laps to go. Ron Pine, John Pine battling it out for second and third, with John Pine getting through the traffic and putting a couple of cars between he and Ron Pine. So that might give John Pine the breathing space he wants to hold on to a safe second spot. Last lap now for Don McEwen. The ISP Sedan Masters champ is 1 lap away from victory. John Pine is second. Ron Pine is third. Stu Robertson holding 4th. Then Queensland's Alan Butcher in 5th place, followed by Canberra's Nick Girdleston, but Don McEwen takes the big ones. Don McEwen is first. Second place to John Pine. Third goes to Ron Pine. 4th will go to Stuart Robertson. 5th to Alan Butcher. 6th, Nick Girdleston. 7th will be Peter Garrett. 8th will be Max Bayesian. 9th place, I think, would go to Paddy Ward, and 10th would go to Kevin Moore. Terrific race. We'll be heading down trackside for trophy presentations. Well, a terribly exciting Tooheys Super Sedan Grand Prix, a tough and hard 40 laps. And it's a pleasure on behalf of Tooheys to be asked to make the trophy presentations in one of the blue ribbon races that we have here at the Newcastle Motordrome. And first place has gone to a Newcastle driver, makes it his second win in this Tooheys Grand Prix. Getting lots of congratulations and everything down there, but as soon as we can, we'll get Don McEwen up here. Don making his way up to the trophy presentation area. First of all, the trophy, Don, on behalf of Tooheys. Please accept the trophy. We've got the prize money and everything to be paid out a little later on. Congratulations, mate. A fantastic drive. Your second Tooheys Grand Prix win. Well done. Let's hear it for Don McEwen.
Thank you. Actually, Ross is my third.
Third? Sorry, Don.
Third. Well, I've been ISP Masters champion. I tried to have my chance last week to do the feature race, but as some circumstances happened, I didn't get to finish the feature race. So tonight I just went out and played the cards and got into the lead and just pulled down good lines and kept going.
Yeah, Don, I noticed that as the track probably got a little bit harder, that car started to really sit down and handle well, and I remember during the call of the race, saw your car handling a lot better, and I thought you might have been able to get them, and you did that, and then just raced away from them, gave them no chance. A great win, and you've had a terrific season, as you said. ISP Master 2 years in a row, 3 times now, the Tooheys Grand Prix winner. Fantastic, mate, well done.
Yes, thanks very much, Ross, and I'd like to thank ISP for their support. Bob Hewson, he owns the place. A special thanks to Steve Smith, because he owns the engine in my race car. Phil and Jay Cole from Argo Marine, and GK Rudd Plumbing.
Good on you, mate. We'll stand by for a trophy presentation in just a moment. Second place has gone to the pit crew Commodore of John Pine. John, my pleasure on behalf of Tooheys to welcome you into second place. Magnificent trophy, the prize money and everything paid out a little later on. Gee, that was a great race night.
Yeah, well, last night was a different track and we put too soft a spring in. No excuse. Donnie won it fair and square. But you can only do with the best with what you got, and it's a sort of a brisky business what you take out in the race because it's so hard and fast. And I'd like to thank pit crew, Greg Rawdley Signs, all the guys that come along and help us with the car, and my wife and kids who put up with us every week. But it's good to end of a season, and second again, Ross, but we'll get there one day.
Yeah, you'll make it sometime. Just the same, it's been a pretty good season for you so far right around the circuit, despite the fact that you have captured a couple of number ones. You've always been very consistent amongst the top place getters. A few controversial incidents during the running of the race, but you were pretty happy with the car right the way throughout?
Yeah, the car went real good, but you know, when you've got a car that's dipping down in the right rear, it's very hard to manoeuvre in the ruts in the corner. But they're the things you've got to put up with, and you only got what you're given when you get onto the racetrack. And you know, I'd like to thank the guys, that work so hard behind the scenes that they only see 3 races a night, and that's us. But and thank the crowd for coming along.
Good on you, John. Trophy presentation photo in just a moment. 3rd place trophy for Ron Pine on behalf of Tui's. Ron, congratulations. You drove a terrific race. At one of those restarts, both you and Don McEwen absolutely pounced on John Pine for that lead, and we thought perhaps you might have been able to go and fight it out there, but I know you'll be fairly happy with 3rd spot because you've had a consistent season too.
Yeah, I'm real happy, mate. What can I say? I've never seen anybody win it from the rear here. It's always been nilly. Nilly's not good enough. I'd like to congratulate Don and John. I got around the slower traffic pretty easy early in the race. I just put the back bumper on the fence and went right around the outside, the only way I know how. I'm sure you've seen me do that a few times. But it was a tough race. I just run out of puff, you know. I'm doggone had it, I tell you. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, GK Day Engines, Valley Kitchens, Valvoline Oil. Guys, who else is there? There's heaps of blokes. Myself, my wife, my family. I don't know, shit, I give it my best shot and I couldn't get there.
Okay.